As you can see, we are in a new backdrop. I still haven't quite figured out the lighting and the sound and all of that, so bear with me here, things are a little bit off still. This is the new place, so this is where we're filming from now on, and I just wanted to share some things with you. I managed to re-up on my Crush City plastics. If you watched my videos, I've been fishing this stuff for a long time now, basically just since it came into stores, and I absolutely love a lot of the stuff. So I got some new things, I re-upped on some stuff I've been throwing for a while, and I also managed to pick up a bunch of finesse terminal tackle from VMC that I think is going to be kind of neat to show off. So we're going to look at what I got, we're going to rig up some stuff, and it'll be fun, so come along. So I'm going to start off talking about the Crush City plastics. The main one that I've been throwing is the Mare. It's just a simple paddle tail, but it works really well, especially paired with the 4/0 Nisshin smellhead. That's the 4-inch Mare with the 4/0 Nisshin smellhead specifically. It's good for bigger fish. You know, I catch a lot of bass on it. I've caught pike on it. It's a good fun bait just to chuck her around and swim back to you, and you know, do some basic, you know, carefree fishing. Now the other head that I throw a lot is the 1/8 ounce Nisshin smellhead. So I thought, why not size down to that 2.5-inch Mare and see how things go. I paired this up already and it looks amazing, so I'm going to show this gun to you guys right now. So as soon as I got it home, I rigged it up on that 1/8 ounce smellhead. I originally tried the 3-inch Mare. It's just too bulky. The funny thing about paddle tails is something like a 3-inch Bass Pro Speed Shad or Kitech Fast Swing Impact will fit perfect on the small jig head, but for whatever reason, you know, a lot of them that are 3 inches are actually really meaty and bulkier and just way too big. So sizing down that 2.5-inch seems to be almost perfect. We're gonna see what the action's like, but I have a feeling this is gonna be awesome for those finicky bass, you know, just tossing around some light line techniques. So like I said, I've been throwing that heavier Mare a lot, but then I found this. This is the Crush City Heavy Hitter. So it's, from what I can tell, exactly like the Mare, just it has a different plastic. It's that heavy TPE plastic, so super TPE they call it, sorry. And this one's in the glow shad color. Now this is one I bought because it feels a little bit bulkier, and I know that what's going on here is that this tail is a lot bigger, and so you get a lot more of a body roll with it compared to the regular Mare. And I want to throw this with the 3/7 ounce Nisshin smellhead, and you know, pick off some deeper bass. You know, maybe do some jigging for whatever's at the bottom of some of these lakeside fish. So I think it's something I can just chuck around and see what I can get on it. So there is that glow shad heavy hitter rigged up on the glow Nisshin smellhead in the 3/7 ounce size with the 4/0 hook. So yeah, like I said, what I found with the 4-inch Mare was that 4/0 hook kind of sat in a perfect location for the paddle tail. You know, for whatever reason, I like mine kind of right before that tail starts to taper, and that hook point just comes out in a great spot. So I know that you can charge these heads up and make them glowing. I don't know that the plastic does the same thing. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe it will. I couldn't find anything online about that. In fact, the heavy hitter might be like a Canadian exclusive or like a Northern exclusive, because when you go on YouTube, you find the Rapala Canada is talking about it more than really any other thing on YouTube. So I don't know, but anyways, either way, this is going to be a cool pairing for some deep fishing. You know, a nice big heavy jig with a paddle tail on it. And yeah, it's that TPE, so lots of stretch. I think it might break eventually. It doesn't seem like it's quite that elastomer, Elastec from Z-Man, but either way, yeah, same kind of plastic here. And they do say that like in cold weather, that's helpful too, because the plastic stays soft and, you know, malleable, whatever, swims a lot better than certain other plastics, I guess. The last Crush City plastic I want to touch on is the Mooch Minnow here. This is a 3.5-inch minnow style bait that also kind of has a bit of a paddle tail to it. I mean, watching videos of this in the water, you definitely get that paddle tail action. It's supposed to be in like a higher frequency, which is slightly different, and I mean, most of these guys are just mid-strolling this bait. However, I think this will pair really good on a specific jig head that I wanted to use. So there is the pearl white Mooch Minnow on that Okashira screw head, and kind of neat, something a little bit different. I mean, I almost wish this was a tiny bit shorter, but I get it. You're gonna get lots of action on that tail, and with that TPE plastic, I mean, it's supposed to be kind of the biggest part about it is the action that you get off that. So not terrible size. I mean, it pairs up pretty nicely. And yeah, the screw head, something that when you swim it back to you or whatever, that screw is gonna spin and entice some fish in. So the screw head is a jig head that I've thrown a bit. I've had some luck with it. I've used the Hazadong shad on it. I don't love the Hazadong shad for, you know, quite a few reasons. The last time I threw this that has done on the screw head, I noticed that the paddle tail wasn't getting the action that people make it out to be. I don't know. I mean, I fish it especially when I fish finesse paddle tails, I fish them very slowly. So maybe I'm expecting too much from it. Either way, I thought, why not find a different plastic to pair this with? And the Mooch Minnow is a great drop shot bait as well, so I'll be using that a lot in the drop shot, and I think that'll work well. So there is a plethora of different uses. I don't do the mid-strolling stuff often enough to really get that use out of it, but from time to time, you know, if you need that finessey kind of, that super finessey where there's not much action kind of presentation, then I think it's a good choice. So we're gonna test this out a little bit, play around with it. It's nice to get my hands on it. I know this is the main one that everybody kind of knows from the Crush City lineup. So yeah, some good stuff here, man. So other than that, I restocked on some stuff that I've already showed multiple times. I restocked on freeloaders, which is my favorite chatterbait trailer. I restocked on 4-inch mares. And like I said, I literally have a box of Crush City plastics now in my bag. I can't get enough of it. It's good, high quality stuff, so excited to throw this stuff for the rest of the season here. Now let's touch on some of the VMC stuff I picked up. Like I said, I had to restock on some of my finesse terminals, so I grabbed what I could here. And we're just gonna start off simple, some Wacky rig hooks, man. I kind of like circle hooks for the Wacky, but you know, it's because it's such a very similar hook. I mean, the problem that I find is that a lot of the Wacky rig fishing I'm doing, I'm sight fishing. So, you know, that standard circle hook, I'm pulling that right out of fish's mouth a lot. So having that kind of more standard hook point where it doesn't really bend in like it does on a circle hook, I think is beneficial to me. So these are coming to size 2 here, and you know, the VMC hooks are all pretty high quality. I mean, I wouldn't say it's maybe the best of the best, but it's good stuff that's really not gonna, you know, cause you problems when you're using it out on the water. So I'm gonna take one out here, and I mean, I'm not gonna get too into it. You guys all know what a Wacky hook looks like. I'm gonna Wacky rig this through a Senko style bait. I mean, even the plastic, the hitworm, the Berkeley hitworm is gonna be used with this. Very standard stuff. VMC does make a weedless Wacky that I kind of hate. It has a wire guard that kind of hooks into the barb of the hook, and I've just always missed bites on that. I've only ever used it a little bit, so I've only gotten maybe a few bites, but every single time I've lost the fish. So yeah, maybe it's me, maybe it's the weed guard. Either way, when I throw a Wacky, I also don't really need the weed guard. I'm throwing that in, you know, just areas where I know I'm not going to get hung up. If I'm getting hung up, I'm going to switch to the Texas rig. I've also picked up some more standard stuff. Like I said, I throw the Texas rig quite a bit, especially weightless. These are some 3/0 wide gap coming in a value pack. 3/0 is a good size for me. I throw a lot of 4-inch Senkos and even 5-inch Senkos. The 3/0 works. I know a lot of people kind of go a bit bigger with the 5 or the 4. Either way, it's similar enough. I don't notice a problem. So stock up on these, 25 to a pack, save some money. It was a no-brainer for me. I've also picked up some 1/0 wide gap. Now I'm hoping this will fit the hitworm. We're gonna check this out right now because that is a really small finesse worm. You know, really not a lot of girth or anything to it. But if this will fit that, then that'll be nice to get just a decent quality wide gap hook for that smaller finesse worm. So I'm gonna rig it up. I'm gonna show you what it kind of looks like, and I'll introduce you to some pretty cool little Texas rig weights that I got in 1/16 ounce. So this here is a 1/16 ounce Texas rig weight paired with a Berkeley hitworm with that 1/0 VMC hook. This is awesome, man. This looks good. So the main problem that I was having was I was throwing the weightless Texas rigged hitworm and just, you know, I mean, it's slow sinking, very slow sinking. So I think adding that 1/16 ounce weight makes it fall just a little bit faster. And it's gonna be really fun on the BFS to throw this. So yeah, happily that 1/0 hook seems to be the perfect size. And we're gonna check this around probably pretty soon here. I mean, the fishing has been tough, it's been hot, it's been slow fishing, so something like a little finesse Texas rig could be a game changer. And of course, that's definitely not just for the hitworm. You can put any plastic on that setup, so you know, something like the smaller bellows gill might pair pretty nicely. I do have those, so we'll take a look at those down the line. Either way, I think we're gonna have fun throwing that. Finally, having like that true finesse Texas rig setup. So continuing, I got some more standard terminal. These are some Wacky Jigs. Now the Wacky rig, I've only ever really thrown weightless, but I want to try throwing it with, you know, some weight to it so I can get it down deeper, fish it in deeper areas where I usually don't bother going for it. It's just a fun rig that you can use with a lot of different plastics. It is super versatile, so you know, having the ability to go deep with it is nice. let's talk about some more advanced stuff now. I got some Neko weights and I got some weedless Neko hooks. And this is the VMC Redline series, which is, as far as I know, just like a PTFE coating on the hooks. It's a vanadium steel, which is stronger, and you know, I guess sharper, stronger hooks, whatever. A little bit more pricier, but the weed guard on this looks fantastic. So it's actually just a piece of some mono there that's acting as a weed guard. And I think this, you know, is going to be a cool little Neko weight thing, especially with these 1/32 ounce weights. And again, I fish a lot of small water, a lot of shallower water, you know, that doesn't really move. And so in those situations, I think I want to go light. So I'm going to rig this up with a little stick bait and we'll see what happens. So this is just what I have available right now. This is just a simple Yum Dinger. I'm going to use this on finesse worms. I can use this on the stick bait style of stuff. So, you know, another cool little, you know, alteration on the Wacky. A lot of you know the Neko rig, of course. It's been around forever. But if you don't, what this is you put a hook in the middle. I'm using my O-ring like a good boy. And a nail weight on the bottom. So that's that little 1/32 ounce nail weight. And, you know, instead of the Wacky, which falls flat and kind of gives it that wobble, this is gonna fall almost in that like kind of Ned rig position, right? And then, you know, you bounce it on the bottom, things like that. That tail's gonna go crazy, entice fish, hopefully. So I have not really dabbled in the Neko at all. For whatever reason, I just have not gone to it. I tried the Tokyo rig, I've tried the Jika rig, Wacky rig, skipped the Neko, but I think it's time to give it a shot. Why not, right? Now, last but not least, I have mentioned the Jika rig, but there's something similar called the free rig, which is basically a Jika. And if you don't know the Jika, it's an EWG with a teardrop, usually weight, sitting at the line tie point. And, you know, fish it kind of like a Ned, EWG style, Texas rig almost. It's all that same style of fishing. But the free rig takes it to a different, you know, a bit different presentation, bit of a slower fall usually, considering how you fish it. Where that weight is actually, you know, free on the line. That's why it's called the free rig. So that weight will fall first and then your bait will kind of follow. These are called the Tungsten BET drop shot weights. And so they are just made for the standard drop shot and you can use them for that. But what I like about these is that it has that perfect loop. It does not have, you know, the clip on like most drop shot weights. So you would actually have to tie it on, but it's perfect for the free rig. So this is in a 1/8 ounce size, and these are some premium looking tungsten weights. And I'll show you what the free rig kind of looks like. Okay, so there it is all rigged up, the free rig. And so there's that 1/8 ounce drop shot weight that's gonna fall freely on that line. And you know, the hope is that as it goes down, so the weight drops, brings us near the bottom, but it allows that plastic to get time to float. I just threw a Zaza leech on here. This is the Neko Zaza leech. I believe this actually is a floating plastic. This is more fish than Ned rig, but this might work pretty well with the free rig. Either way, I know last time we went out, Liam caught a bunch of fish on the free rigged bellows gill, and that's what got me to buy these. So that'll probably be what I do, but yeah, we're gonna throw some stuff on it. The free rig is nice to have in my arsenal. Definitely something just a little bit different. I hate fishing that Texas rig style, and realistically, this is similar enough, but I mean, if it's something that gets bit, then I'm gonna give it a shot, of course. So either way, just one more cool little finesse technique to have. Lots of different stuff here, and I want to share it all with you, so hope you enjoyed, maybe got something out of this. Let me know if you want any more information, and I can give you some more in-depth stuff in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tight lines.